on March 12th at the Superior Courthouse 3rd floor to see if you're eligible for this drug diversion program, okay? If you don't show up, they're not gonna consider you. So you have to make sure you show up next week. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. Don't go to the incident location, which was a Great Things thrift store. And then all probation terms in your current case that's post-adjudicated, the 2024 case that you were just sentenced on. And then the preliminary hearing date will be pushed back to April 21st at 1:30. If you fail to appear for any court dates, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Gaskill?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Excuse for today.
Thank you. Golden.
Morning, can I get your name, please?
Ron Modi.
Middle name, Deontay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new felony charges for possession of marijuana for sale, misconduct involving weapons, and then you also have a North Mesa Justice Court case out of Mesa, Arizona for a misdemeanor assault. We'll talk about the felony matter first. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm gonna be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. Looks like state's recommending 7,500. Mr. Poston, do you want to recommend anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Others?
Yes, Judge, we're asking for the pretrial services release. He does not have any prior felony convictions, so he is probation available. And there was some marijuana found on him, but it's way below 2 pounds.
All right, thank you. Sir, I'm going to release you on your felony matter to pretrial services. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Do not go to the incident location. Your next court date for the new felony matter is going to be a preliminary hearing on March 25 at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so just keep in contact with your attorney. As if you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And then as to the out-of-county matter, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear, sir. The next court date at North Mesa Justice Court is actually March 13th. That's next week at 9 a.m. So you'll have to contact them, figure out if you're going to get there or if you can appear video. I'm not sure, but you'll have to contact them. Okay. I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for that one. All right. Fail to appear for court, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Golden?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. You're excused for today.
Thanks. $6. Okay.
Hello, can I get your name, please?
Anthony Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a charge of possession of narcotic drugs for sale and possession of drug paraphernalia. There are new felony charges. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. Looks like the state is recommending $5,000 and potentially steps eligible.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything
It's in lieu of no bond. It's not, Your Honor, that would be in lieu of no bond because that state does the grants hold them otherwise, but given the circumstances, the state is not looking to offer that.
Okay, I don't think it's a no bond eligible. Looks like it was on parole potentially, but not on release. So I don't think that's a no bond eligible situation, but noted, Mr. Poston.
Wow, rolling.
All right, Ms. Feather?
Yes, Judge, I do not think that he was.
Is there parole hold, Your Honor?
Sorry, who was that? Oh,
Judge, I don't think he has a parole hold because his parole expires on March 4th, so basically yesterday. So he's done with his sentence there.
Understood, thank you. Any other recommendation, Ms. Struthers?
Yes, Judge, because he's a steps eligible, we asked him to consider pretrial services release. His information was verified because pretrial services was able to get a hold of his grandmother and she confirmed he is a resident.
Wait time to extend the PH date?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez, would you be interested in participating in a pre-indictment drug diversion program for substance abuse?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to release you today to pretrial services. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. No contact with your co-defendant, Ilse McCleary, regarding the case. And then you have to show up to the Pima County Superior Court on March 12th at 9. If you don't show up, the state won't consider you for this diversion program. So make sure you show up to see if you're eligible for the substance abuse treatment program. All right, after that, the preliminary hearing is moved up to April 21st at 1:30 p.m. If you fail to appear for court, sir, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're excused for today. Morning, sir. Can I get your name, please?
Gabriel Jimenez?
Anthony, your middle name?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jimenez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on, looks like new felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs and drug paraphernalia. Also a post indictment for theft out of Pima County Superior Court. And then we have some justice court cases, I believe, for drug paraphernalia shoplifting. And then you have a number of failures to appear out of Tucson City Court for theft, crim trespass, additional counts of theft. All right, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. For the felony matters, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office. We'll talk about the felony stuff first, sir, then we'll talk about the misdemeanor things. All right, I'm gonna be setting some release conditions for you, Mr. Jimenez. Reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. Looks like for the new matter, the state is recommending $3,000 and saying steps eligible. And for the post indictment, the state's recommending $2,000. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Struthers.
Judge, for the steps we're asking for the pretrial services release, and the court consider that we will waive for time for the PH hearing. Regarding the post-indictment matter, it appears it was direct indictment, and the summons was mailed to the wrong address because it was mailed to Calle Grandiosa, while the pretrial services talked to his sister Maria, who verified his residence, and it's on South 4th Avenue. So Mr. Jimenez was not aware of their indicted new charges. I'm asking pretrial services on the both matters.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Poston.
It's the defendant's obligation to keep his address updated with the court, and this is not his first contact with the system, and therefore the state does believe that the $2,000 and $3,000 bonds are appropriate. We'll screen for screening from steps as appropriate. However, the often heard excuse that the court didn't send it to the correct address just does not hold water.
I did check the CR number on Agave. It does show that the mail was returned, no address on file, unable to forward from the summons. So the defendant did not have notice of the hearing for the IA arraignment on that matter. Okay, anything else from either party?
No, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jimenez, would you be interested in participating in a pre-indictment drug diversion program for substance abuse?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so for both cases, sir, I'm going to release you to the third-party custody of pretrial services. For the new charges, the drug charges, sir, you have a STEPS hearing. STEPS is the name of the drug diversion program. It's at March 12th at 9 a.m. at the Pima County Superior Court on the 3rd floor. You have to show up for that hearing. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you for the program. If you show up, they'll let you know if you are actually eligible or not. They'll do some screening before that. All right, conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. And then the preliminary hearing date for the new charge is going to be moved back to April 21st at 1:30. Again, if you don't show up to court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. For the post-indictment matter, sir, your next court date is March 12th, also next week at 1:30 p.m. That's arraignment, also at the Superior Courthouse, also on the 3rd floor. Ordered posting the warrant on that case. You have additional, because that one has a theft charge, there's a victim, alleged victim, so no contact with the alleged victim. Don't go back to target the incident location. Again, if you fail to appear, warrant can issue. You understand all that, sir?
Okay.
All right, and then we also have the Tucson City Court cases that we have to talk about. It looks like they failed to appear at a sentencing for your city court cases. Okay. All right. I am going to release you on your own promise to appear, sir, for the city court cases. Your next court date is going to be April 7th at 2 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. You'll get paperwork on the dates and everything, but April 7th at 2 p.m. in front of Judge Million. No drugs, no alcohol, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms, no contact with any of the alleged victims. Don't go to any of the incident locations or victims' addresses. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue again. You understand all that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, make sure you show up to court next week for your steps.
Okay.
Excuse for today, sir. Morning, sir. Can I get your name, please?
Macarena.
The Maitorena Tarango?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on felony charges for aggravated assault, domestic violence, and also aggravated domestic violence. Both are felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. The state is recommending $150,000.
Your Honor,
Yeah,
that's a typo, 5050.
$50,000 in bond. Thank you. Mr. Poston, anything further you'd like to add?
Your Honor, this was a violent attack that included strangulation, and the state need not remind the court about the statistics surrounding women who are previously strangled by an intimate partner. Would appear the person was on, it would appear this person was on probation or release at the time. The prior day, it's alleged that he sped away in his car while his girlfriend was trying to exit. She ended up skidding and being injured. And he has multiple DV convictions within the statutory period. $50,000, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Struthers?
Judge, yes, we recognize his criminal record. However, he does has a verifiable residence with his mother, with whom pretrial services did talk and verify his residence, and who stated that she will transport him for the hearings. We're asking for the nominal bond.
Thank you. I do think a bond is appropriate in this case due to the strangulation allegation. $25,000 in bond, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted, sir. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, no acts of domestic violence, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact whatsoever with the named victim in this case. Do not go to her residence, do not go to her work, no contact whatsoever, sir. Your next court date, Mr. Maitorena Tarango, is going to be a preliminary hearing on March 17th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
So, so yeah.
Morning, can I get your name, please?
I'm seeing Marlene McCleary.
Thank you, Ms. McCleary. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some new charges, felonies for possession of narcotic drugs and drug paraphernalia, also a misdemeanor DUI. And then we have some Tucson City Court failures to appear for domestic violence and disorderly conduct. We'll talk about the new felony charges first. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you in this matter. We'll talk about your felony matters first and then the misdemeanors. I'm gonna be setting some release conditions. I reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. State's recommending $5,000. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
State submits.
Thank you. And I know the pretrial services report says steps eligible, but because there's a DUI charge, that would be inaccurate, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Ms. Struthers?
Judge, we're asking to consider releasing to the pretrial services. She does has a prior, but it's from 2018, from more than 7 years ago. And she does has a verifiable residence with her mother.
All right, thank you. On your felony charge, ma'am, I am going to release you to pretrial services. Conditions include do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, and no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact with your co-defendant, Anthony Gonzalez, regarding this case. Your next court date for the felony matter, Ms. McCleary, is going to be a preliminary hearing on March 25th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you don't show up to court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. All right, let's talk about your Tucson City Court cases. Looks like you failed to appear for court back on September 27, 2022. Did you know that you had these cases going on from 2022?
Yes.
If I release you today on these charges, are you going to go to court and get it taken care of?
Yes, I will.
All right. I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear, ma'am, but this may not happen again, okay? These are old charges and you have failures to appear, so you got to make sure you get that taken care of. All right, your next court, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for city court cases. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. No contact with the named victim in these cases. Do not go to their residence or their address. Your next court date for city court, ma'am, is going to be April 7th at 2 p.m. in front of Judge Millian at the Tucson City Court. You're ordered to appear for that court date as well as any future court dates. Okay, if you don't appear, warrant can issue. Trial can go in your absence. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
You're excused for today. Thank you, Ms. McCleary.
Thank you.
You got. What?
Good morning. Can I get your name, please?
Daniel Mesquita.
Morning, Miss. Is it Alejandro, middle name?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Mesquita, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some new felony charges for organized retail theft, possession of dangerous drugs, drug paraphernalia, felony shoplifting. You also have a Pima County Justice Court case for failure to appear, shoplifting, and then some Tucson City Court failures to appear for theft, drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass. We'll talk about the felonies first and then the other matters. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Attorney, for the felony cases, I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. I'm gonna be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. The state is recommending $7,500. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Others?
We're asking for the pretrial services release. He has no prior felony conviction, and it appears he'll be probation available at trial.
All right, I'm concerned about the numerous failures to appear, even though it wasn't felony cases, there are a number of failures to appear. So I am going to order a bond of $1,000 in this matter. Cash are secured, released to pretrial if posted. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. No contact with the alleged victim. Do not go to the incident location, which is Marshall, sir. No contact with your co-defendant, Adrian Capone, regarding this case. Your next court date, Mr. Mesquita, is going to be a preliminary hearing on March 17th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so just keep in contact with your attorney. All right, if you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue. And then the Justice Court case for shoplifting, I'm going to impose a bond of $500, cash or secured. Same conditions apply, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged victim of the shoplifting. I'm going to appoint counsel for you on the Justice Court case. It's going to be Jill Gookin. All right, and your next court date for that is actually tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you're still in jail by then, you'll be seen via video. Ms. Gookin will be there. All right, and for your city court cases, Mr. Mesquita. Because of the failures to appear again, I'm imposing a bond of $200, cash or secured, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged victims. Do not go to the incident locations. I'm appointing the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you on that matter. Your next court date for city court is going to be March 14th at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Hale. All right. Again, if you postpone on all these, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. If you're in jail, the jail will make sure you get seen. If you fail to appear for court, warrant can issue. You understand all that, sir? Thank you. You're excused for today.
Peralta,
Good morning. Can I get your name, please?
Evaldo Murrieta Jr. Prieto.
Thank you. Sir, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some felony charges for possession of dangerous drugs, possession of narcotic drugs, drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. Review the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. Looks like the state is recommending a pretrial service release and potentially steps eligible. Mr. Poston?
Yes.
All right. Anything further, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Others?
We're asking for the same thing, and we're willing to waive PH time.
All right. Mr. Murrieta Prieto, the state is indicating you may be eligible to participate in a pre-indictment drug diversion program, so substance abuse treatment. Would you be interested in participating in that?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to release you to pretrial services today, sir. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed. You have to show up next week, March 12th at 9 a.m. at the Superior Courthouse on the 3rd floor. They'll tell you if you're actually eligible to participate in this program. If you don't show up, they're just automatically going to say you're not interested. It won't put you in there. So make sure you show up next week to see if you're eligible for this diversion program. And then the preliminary hearing date is going to get pushed back to April 21st at 1:30. If you fail to show up to court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Oops. You know,
Morning, sir. Can I get your name, please?
It's Ricky Renekidos.
Thank you, Mr. Kudos. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a felony charge for discharging a firearm in city limits. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm setting some release conditions for you, sir. All right. I've reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. The state is recommending $30,000, which is the amount of the original warrant that was issued, I believe, out of justice court. All right. Anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Struthers?
Judge, we're asking for the pretrial services release. As you can see, that was a justice court warrant. He was not arrested on this matter, so he was not aware of that pending matter.
All right, thank you. I do think that release to pretrial is appropriate at this time. So, Mr. Quiros, I'm releasing you today to pretrial. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. If you have any in your possession, to surrender them to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Monitor your treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 25th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. So it's in your best interest to show up to court and keep in contact with your attorney. You understand all that, Mr. Quiros?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you.
good. Oh, he's at full-time. Hurts. Mr. Richardson is honestly.
All right, thank you. Morning, sir. Can I get your name, please?
Victor Zaharitz.
And Judge, for the Mr. Zaharitz, I do have the probable cause challenge. Because looking at the probable cause statement, it does says that there was meth and fentanyl pill were found within him. However, meth was not tested and fentanyl pill were not described. Even that description, it was the M30 pill, so nothing on the description to indicate what it was. And I'm referring it to both statements for the incident for March 5th and for the February 5th. They both state meth, they both said fentanyl, and both do not have testing for either meth or fentanyl and no description of the fentanyl.
State deters to Assistant Attorney General Lochner, who's on the line.
Yes, I see her. Thank you. All right, hold on, folks. Let me call the case first. All right, sir, can I get your full name, please?
Victor John Zaharitz.
Thank you, Mr. Zavarans. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some charges of transportation or sale of narcotic drugs and transportation or sale of dangerous drugs and conspiracy to conduct a legal enterprise, which are felony matters. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I've reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. Looks like Ms. Struthers is arguing there's no probable cause due to lack of field testing of, I think, the pills.
And the methamphetamine.
Your Honor, and the state's position would be that it's a low standard of probable cause at this point as to what the items are. The meth would be the white shards. I know that the pills were tested for December 9th and January 8th. I'm not sure, I haven't seen the probable cause statement, but I know they were tested and they came back as heroin, which is a narcotic drug.
Judge, the current offenses listed for March 5th and February 5th. There is no allegation of heroin, only meth and fentanyl. And just because there is some substance over there, it's not enough for the description of that substance. Assume that it's methamphetamine.
I would argue that the officers are writing this in their training and experience, and they are trained and experienced as to what these drugs look like, which is why they put that in their probable cause statement.
Okay, I do see from December 9th, 24 and January 8th, 25, the interim complaint does say the pills tested positive for heroin. So there's at least 2 different dates where there's positive testing for narcotic drugs. Okay. All right. Ms. Lochner, did you want to be heard on release?
I would submit on our written proposal.
All right, thank you.
Judge, defense did not receive the written proposal from the AG, only from the county attorney.
Okay.
If she can say what her proposal is, that would be great.
Tatiana, I did email it to you this morning.
So it looks like they're recommending $80,000 cash.
I understand that he does has a prior felony convictions. We asked him for the reasonable bond.
All right, thank you. I'm going to order a bond of $50,000, cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted. Sir, if you do post the bond, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. And you must not leave Pima County without the court's permission. Your next court date, sir, is going to be a preliminary hearing on March 17th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to show up for that court date or any future court dates, a warrant can issue. So it's in your best interest to keep in contact with your attorney and get this taken care of. Understand all that, Mr. Zorans?
I don't understand the part about last December.
Counsel were just arguing about whether there was probable cause for some of the charges, and I was just noting in the interim complaint, so this is what the police officers are saying is their probable cause to arrest you. They said they tested the drugs and they found it to be heroin.
Tested what drugs? They never got a ticket in.
Sir, you do have the right to remain silent. We're in open court right now, okay? So. All right.
Okay.
You can talk to your attorney about any other questions you might have, but I am finding probable cause for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He's got. You see. Richardson, go ahead. Yeah. Wait. Oh, wait. Yeah. Richardson, you're up. Richardson.
Morning, sir. Can I get your name, please?
Yeah. Eugene Richardson,
Middle name is James.
James.
All right, thank you. Mr. Richardson, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some felony charges, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, also some Tucson City Court misdemeanors for refusing to provide a true name and criminal trespass. It also looks like you have a DOC hold from Department of Corrections. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. We'll talk about the new felony charge first and then the misdemeanor, sir. I'll be setting some release conditions. I've reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. The state is recommending $25,000. Mr. Poston, anything further?
Your Honor, it's an armed ag assault and he's got a probation violation and he's being that detention. Should that hold ever expire, there's still the absolute risk he poses based on his actions. 25,000.
All right, thank you. Ms. Struthers?
Judge, we're asking for a reasonable bond.
All right, thank you. I do think the 25,000 is appropriate in this case. Cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted, sir. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. Also note, sir, because of the DOC hold for parole violation, if you post the bond, DOC will probably take you to their custody, so you're probably not going to get out if you post the bond. You may just lose it. Just FYI on that. Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 17th at 1:30 for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so just keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And for the Tucson City Court matter, sir, give me just one moment. Okay, on the city court matter, sir, I am releasing you on your own promise to appear, but because you're being held on the DOC as well as the felony matter, I'm going to appoint you an attorney, the Tucson City Public Defender. If everything is, all the holds are all gone, and if you're released, then the victim do not return to the instant location of the trespass. Next court date for that will be April 18th at 9 a.m. If you're still in custody by then, you'll be seen, or you won't be seen, but the court date will occur on April 18th in front of Judge Serio. If you fail to appear for court, sir, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that? Mr. Richardson, do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Okay. And Judge, before we start, I would like to make a probable cause challenge. And I do first of all want to apologize. When I was making the records on Victor Zahurans, it's actually because it's also started with Z. My notes actually indicated to Brittany and not to him.
Oh.
So my whole statement over there was not correct.
Okay.
But for Ms. Zolena, I believe this is the challenge that I have. She is charged with 2 incidences from March 5th and February 5th. Both of the incidents had allegation of meth and fentanyl. Both of the probable causes written by hands. And when I was looking over there, there's nothing over there saying that meth was actually tested on both dates. And the fentanyl pills only have description fentanyl pill. There was no description, for example, it's M30 pill. And for those reasons, I have challenge for the probable cause for both of those dates.
All right, thank you. Let me call the case, sir, and I'll let ma'am, and I'll let Mr. Poston respond. Ma'am, can I get your name, please?
Brady Ryan Zollner.
All right, Ms. Zollner, this is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of dangerous drugs, 2 counts, and narcotic drugs 2 counts, drug paraphernalia 2 counts. So there are 2 separate dates, one from February of this year and the other from March of this year. Also seeing you on some misdemeanors out of Tucson City Court, failure to appear for theft, shoplifting, as well as domestic violence, disorderly conduct. We'll talk about the felonies first. Ms. Struthers is making a probable cause challenge. She's saying there's not sufficient evidence to support the felony charges for narcotic and dangerous drugs. Mr. Poston, did you want to respond?
Your Honor, I'd respond largely echoing what the Assistant Attorney General mentioned earlier, that this is based on their training and experience. These officers know methamphetamine when they see it, and there is no requirement at this stage to have the level of detail that states fentanyl pills with M30 stamped on them, et cetera, and therefore the state believes that the report does meet the PC burden.
Right, thank you. Anything else, Ms. Struthers?
Just the same argument, just because there is a substance in the baggie, it doesn't mean it's a meth, it could be anything else. That's why they do the preliminary test.
All right, thank you. The arguments are noted. I do believe the argument that the training experience would be sufficient at this stage for probable cause, but also there's drug paraphernalia, and that would be a felony as well. That'd be sufficient probable cause to keep the case moving forward at this point. All right. Did either side want to be heard on release?
Judge, we're looking at PTS on the first one and then 5,000 on the second one, screening both for steps. But honestly, given the fact that she caught two cases, one prior to the other, there is an argument to be made for no bond, but we're not making that at this point.
All right, thank you. Ms. Struthers?
Yes, Judge, she does has a one prior felony, but it's from 2017. She is step eligible for both cases. Regarding like on release allegation, it's the person have to be arrested first, be released, and then commit new felony offense while on release. She was not previously arrested on the February offense, so there is no allegation or release supposed to be made here. So for those reasons, we're asking for both matters to be released my client to the pretrial services. If the court willing to do that, we are willing to waive time for the steps hearing.
All right, thank you. And that's my understanding as well, Ms. Struthers, that there's no initial arrest to do the on-release allegation. Okay, Ms. Zollner, are you interested in participating in a pre-indictment drug diversion program for substance abuse?
Yes, please.
All right, so I'm going to release you on both the cases, the felony matters, to the third-party custody of pretrial services. Your next
Thank
court
you.
date for that is going to be steps hearing on March 12th at 9 a.m. at the Pima County Superior Court on 3rd floor. So the state will do a screening and see if you actually are eligible. You'll find out next week. If you don't show up, though, they're just going to say you're not interested in, and will take you out. So make sure you show up to see if you're eligible to participate in that program.
March 12th.
All right, March 12th at 9 a.m. And then
Thank you.
the next court date after that will be April 21st at 1:30 for the preliminary hearing. Conditions of your release include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial.
Okay.
All right, and if you fail to show up to court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. So make sure you show up next week to get this taken care of.
Yes, ma'am.
And then for your Tucson City Court cases, looks like these were from, the failure to appear court was from June of 2022. Did you know you had city court cases?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Excuse me.
All right. So ma'am, I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your Tucson City Court cases. Got to make sure you show up to court, okay? Or another
Thank
warrant can due. All right. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. No contact with the alleged victims in those matters. Don't go to the incident location or the victims' residences. Your next court date for Tucson City Court will be April 14th at 9 a.m. Make sure you show up so you can get that taken care of. Again, if you fail to show up, warrant can issue again. All right. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, yes, I do.
All right, you're excused for today.
Thank you. Have a good day. Take care, Judge. Thank you so much.
All right, I think that's all